You're listening to the Daily Sales Tips podcast, and I'm your host, Scott Ingram. Today's tip comes from Jeff Bajorek in his regular weekly spot, and I almost never comment on whether these tips are good or bad, but this is a great idea. Here's Jeff.
So I've got an idea for how you can reach that prospect that is just impossible to get a hold of. You know, you've called them, you've sent them emails, you've connected with them on social media. They're just not responding to you. You've even sent them a coffee mug wrapped in a hoodie from their alma mater because you heard that was a great idea on this podcast some time ago, and it's just still not working for you. Well, why don't you try this? Your prospect probably has a LinkedIn profile. I mean, who doesn't anymore, right? And if they have a LinkedIn profile, they probably have some recommendations on that LinkedIn profile. And let's just say you're trying to get a hold of Scott Ingram and you know that I've left a recommendation on his profile. So what would happen if you reached out to me? I'm not used to getting calls from you. I've got a great experience working with Scott. He really helped my company. I want to say more great things about Scott. So when you call me, now I'm interested in kind of a fun conversation. It's a different kind of thing than I would do in my regular day. So there's a little bit of a pattern interruption there. And hey, we get to trade a little bit of information about someone that we both are, have some mutual respect for. Now, I'm not going to give you a ton of inside baseball, but I'm probably going to expound a little bit on my experience with Scott's company and the reason that I gave him a recommendation in the first place. Well, now you get to call Scott. And you get to say, hey, Scott, I just got off the phone with Jeff Bajorek, and he went way into detail about why he was so eager to recommend you on your LinkedIn profile. He had way more good things to say. And in the time since he left that review, you may like to know that his company is still thriving as a result of the help, the assistance, the guidance, the solution, whatever that you provided with him. Thought you might like to know that. He also said that you should probably call me back. Is that not going to at least get a smile from Scott? Is Scott not going to call you back or at least call me to give me hell for talking to you and suggesting that those two connect? How much fun is that? Okay, maybe there's a part of you that's a little bit afraid that the whole thing could blow up in your face, but hey, wait, first of all, isn't that selling? But secondly, is that really going to happen? With good intentions, you reached out to someone with mutual respect for the person that you're actually trying to reach, and this is what happened. So I want you to think about that. This is just something that is just a little off kilter, just off kilter enough to really get my attention, and I think it could work for you too.
Now, I owe Jeff a huge thank you, not just for this tip, but because he had me looking at my own recommendations, where he really has written one for me, that helped me find a pending recommendation that was over a year old from Eddie Baez, which is now approved. So thank you, Eddie and Jeff. And now, if you listen to and love Jeff's tip every Saturday, perhaps consider writing a recommendation for him. We'll have a link to his profile and everything else for you at DailySales.Tips/791. Once you've done that, be sure to come back tomorrow for another great sales tip. Thanks for listening.